everyone! Today I'll be showing you how I do a provisional cast on without using a crochet hook in the round. And this is typically used for like fold over brims or anything where you want to have a double folded collar or a double folded band. In this case, I used it for the Simply Bralette by Jack's Knitwear, and this is a test knit that I'm currently in, and I figured that this video would be pretty helpful for future people who want to use this method for any type of fold over brim. So for starters, I do want to preface with saying that you'll need one needle that will be your main needle and another needle that is smaller or the same size as the main needle. And you want to make sure that they're both cabled. So what I'm doing here is starting with a slip knot and putting that onto the main cable. You'll see here you don't need to leave a tail or anything off of the end that is not connected to the ball. So this is a lot easier if you knit continental style, but if you are an English style knitter, you'll just have to finick a little bit with it to make it work. So once you get all of your needles in order, what you want to do is line up the second cord underneath the main needle so you won't be casting onto the bottom needle. And you'll go under the needle or the cord, pick up the loop, yarn over the wrong way, go under the needle cord, pick up the loop, yarn over the wrong way, and so on and so forth. So just continue this until you get the recommended number of stitches that you need as the pattern states, and you want to make sure that there are enough loops on both needle and the cord. So in total you should have casted on 2x the amount of stitches that is required per pattern. However, on each needle or each cord, you're only going to have the actual amount of stitches that you need. So just continue this until you reach that amount. Now that you have all of your stitches set up and on both needle and cord, you'll just want to ensure that you're keeping the main needle cord on the top and keeping the secondary cord on the bottom. And what we want to do now is start our setup row. So if you've done Judy's Magic Cast On before, you'll pretty much know how this works. There will be some legs that you'll have to knit through the back loop and some that you'll have to knit through the front loop, and this is just because of how the legs are mounted over the needle. And you'll see here that I'm alternating between front and back, and we want to just ensure that the orientation is correct. So now that we're at the end and we've completed our setup row, we'll want to start joining this in the round. And you want to ensure that your stitches are not twisted. So again, your main needle should be on the top and your secondary quibble cord should be at the bottom. After you've done this, you'll just join in the round like normal. So just add on a stitch marker and then knit in the round. So continue knitting in the round for as many rounds as you need or for the thickness of the band that you want. And you might also find that the first row is a bit finicky because of the second cord, but no worries, it does get a lot easier as you continue to knit. So now I'm nearing the end of my final row, and for demonstration purposes, I've just knit about 10 rows just to give me a brim that I can fold. So you remove the stitch marker, and here is where your second cord will come in handy. So because the second cord has its needle on it, you essentially will just be knitting both of these stitches together. So you insert your right needle into the front stitch and into the stitch on the second needle. When doing this, you also want to make sure that you're inserting into the second needle in accordance to how it's mounted on the needle. So the way that, in the same way that we did our setup rows, some of the legs will be mounted in the correct orientation and some will be mounted in the incorrect orientation. And you'll just want to ensure that your stitches are straight and they are knitted in the correct orientation. I do find doing this step is a lot easier with smaller needles, so you'll see that I'm a little finicky with these larger needles. So you'll just continue to do this until the end of your round. Now that we've made it, you can slip back on your stitch marker and you'll continue knitting in the round as per your pattern states. And you've now completed your folded over brim using the provisional cast on without crochet hook in the round.